Ladies, gentlemen, boys, and girls, basketball fans of all ages, hello, and welcome into the gymnasium here at Abington High School for tonight's MIAA Boys Varsity Basketball matchup. It is the Sandwich Blue Knights and the Abington Green Wave in a South Shore League battle. I'm Mad Dog Matt Nelson, pleased to be joined alongside by Dr. James Madden. Doc, a rematch of a game we saw last year in the Carter tournament. These teams very familiar with each other as league opponents. And the Blue Knights will be led by Connor Finn and Dan Oman, who had a pretty big impact in the last matchup.
Yeah, and you said it. They played each other last February. You said it. They played each other last February in the Carter tournament. The Green Wave came out on top before ultimately playing Cape Cod Academy in the championship. Sandwich in their first season in the South Shore League and coming off a loss. Both teams trying to get back on track after a loss. The Green Wave 1-1. Entering this one, Sandwich 0-1 after losing to Norwell last Friday night.
Connor Pease winning the opening tip over to Kingston Maxwell. The other Green Wave starters, Will LeBlanc, Michael Riley, and Tyler Stady. And it is Pease in the paint. That's his bread and butter to score the game's first bucket, James.
And that's what the Green Wave are going to be looking for all game. They have the significant size advantage. Pease down low. Kingston Maxwell will stretch in the floor. And, you know, another thing for the Green Wave that will be important is Tyler Stady from beyond the arc, averaging 27 points per game in his first two games this season. And we'll see how this plays out for the Green Wave.
The starters for the Sandwich Blue Knights is missing the top of the key three was the only freshman on the roster, Jaden Diaz. He's joined by Dan Oman, Luke Rogers, Cole Rogers, and Connor Finn. A very veteran-heavy lineup here, James, for Sandwich. There is just two underclassmen.
And yeah, a lot of names familiar. I called their football game against the Green Wave back in October. And a couple familiar names, just very athletic players, like we said, trying to get right back on track after falling victim to a tough loss against a very good Norwell team. They lost, I believe, 73-38. So Sandwich trying to get their first win and their first league win as a member of the South Shore League here as in the basketball world, the boys basketball world. Like we said, the girls team is down in Sandwich today and with their South Shore League opener as well.
Dan Oman, one of the 5 seniors on the roster, will inbound. He finds Luke Rogers. And the travel called here on Cole Rogers. Sandwich with the classic basketball jersey look, very reminiscent of the Carolina Tar Heels.
Down the side, they have their secondary color, blue and white, and down the side, kind of like, obviously it's a different shade of blue that the Tar Heels have, but similar design, similar look for the Blue Knights.
Corner three from Stady doesn't go. Pease was there for the rebound, James, and he puts it off the window and in.
And he's going to get a lot of those tonight, I think. He had 12 rebounds in their loss to Martha's Vineyard. He had an off night in their opener against Hull, but they did get the 30-point win, so I think tonight's going to be a lot of Kingston Maxwell, Tyler Stady, and Connor Pease if they want to get the job done.
Michael Riley attempting to come up with that steal, flung it out of bounds. We can't say anything too mean about anybody with the last name Riley because we are absolutely surrounded by them here in the top row of the bleachers. Loose ball on the deck, and Stady goes up and over everybody to rip down the loose ball. 6:10 to go, 4-0 Abington. Riley to the corner for Maxwell. Maxwell drives baseline, flings it. LeBlanc, now Stady. Inside for Pease. The man goes to work in the post, kicks it out for Stady. He drives in. Now corner three from Maxwell is good.
And that's a big-time three by Maxwell. He's averaging 16 points per game, 16 in both games to start the season. And, he had a pretty flashy dunk in the opener against Hull, as well as shooting 2 for 4 from 3 in their first two games. So Maxwell's a player. He's going to do it all for the Green Wave. Maybe their most athletic player. He'll be able to rebound. He'll play make. He'll get some assists, but he'll also score. And that's why just a sophomore, him and Tyler Stady have taken the Green Wave and the South Shore League by storm.
Full court press on for the Green Wave. Sandwich able to find its way through, and drilling the triple is Connor Finn. And Sandwich is on the board. Stady inside for LeBlanc. Now it's Michael Riley, top of the key. Nice bounce pass down low to Pease, and he's got another deuce. Nice assist there from Michael Riley. Rogers floats, and he's called for steps prior to the shot. Maxwell over to Riley, who is also starting quarterback on the football team. Corner 3 doesn't go. Father Ed in attendance, just named head football coach here at Abington. He is seated across the way next to Coach Emeritus, I'm going to call him, Jim Keller.
Yep, and Coach Keller just wrapped up his 50th season here with the Green Wave. They got the win on Thanksgiving, a lopsided win over Whitman Hanston, if you will. Coach Riley's been with the program for what seems to be forever, so, good. The Green Wave football program will obviously be in good hands.
Stady's got his second rebound, dishes for Pease. He's fouled and doesn't get the roll, so he'll be at the line for 2. Pease with 6 of the Green Wave's 9 points so far. All in the paint.
And something I've noticed through the first 2 games of the Green Wave is they've really struggled at the free throw line, shooting just about 60% as a team. And that's part of the reason why they lost against Martha's Vineyard. They also struggled with the turnovers late in the fourth quarter, as well as, shot making. But I think turnovers and free throws are 2 of the biggest keys to 2 of the things they need. The Green Wave need to improve on starting tonight, because as they get closer into league play, they're going to need to shoot the ball well from the free throw line and stop turning the ball over if they want to make a run in the South Shore League this year.
Handed to Rogers. Now on the rotation, it's Dan Oman. Oman to Matt Murray, another one of the seniors on the roster. And here is Jack Riley into the game, coming up with a steal. Jack McSherry in the paint has a couple of offensive rebounds, but he can't find the bottom of the well. Rogers lost it. Loose ball on the deck, picked up by Oman. Oman has a shot blocked by McSherry. Stady couldn't corral the pass, and now in alone, laying it up and in, was Dan Oman. LeBlanc driving baseline. Bounce pass to Jack Riley. And he took a little bit of contact. Ball stolen away by Connor Finn. Finn drives, and a foul on the floor. It'll be called on Michael Riley.
On that other end, I'd like to see Jack Riley go to the hoop and finish that at the rim. He tried to make the unselfish play, kick it out, but I think Jack might have had a lane there and might have had a chance to give the Green Wave a 5-point lead if he took that to the rim.
One of those games that takes place after most college students get out for their winter break. Clemson Tiger, Eddie Riley, former Green Wave basketball player himself, in attendance, and there's another 3 from Connor Finn. He's got 2 from beyond the arc early.
And Finn shoots the ball well. He shot the ball well against Norwell. He was one of the few players who really, filled the stat sheet. Like I said, they had a pretty lopsided loss against a pretty good Norwell team. So Connor Finn, one of the older players on the Sandwich roster. So he's going to be one of the key parts of success tonight and throughout the season for Coach Zimmerangus and the Blue Knights squad.
Nate Duggan into the game. He's unable to set the pick there, and Finn has his 3rd triple of the first quarter, and that gives Sandwich their first lead, James, 13-10 with 2.5 to go.
And we just touched on it. Connor Finn lighting it up already from beyond the arc, and 3rd three-pointer of the game, and Sandwich leads for the first time, 2:33 to go, and the Green Wave, Connor Finn might be their only, challenge defensively, so you got to really crack down defensively, maybe even face guard him, and make sure he doesn't beat you, make someone else beat you. So Green Wave, in the timeout, we'll talk about how to guard Connor Finn and get back out and jump into a lead, and hopefully smooth sailing from there on out.
Green Wave were out to a big lead early, James. Coach Zimmerangus of Sandwich making some adjustments. What is he telling his team to keep the momentum in the Blue Knights corner?
Just keep taking shots, keep making shots, because early on they had good looks. They just weren't falling right away, and Connor Finn, like we said, has caught fire, 9 of the 13 points for Sandwich. And you just need Connor Finn to keep making shots. And if Sandwich keeps making shots, they're going to be tough against the Green Wave, because Connor Finn's shown that he can score from beyond the arc, and they forced a couple turnovers. Like we said earlier, Green Wave have struggled with turnovers here early on this season, so if I'm them, I keep applying defensive pressure, and I keep telling Connor Finn to shoot the rock, because good things have happened when Connor Finn shoots.
Tyler Stady in for McSherry, out for Michael Riley. Or rather, that is Nate Duggan. And he dishes inside to Jack Riley.
First points of his high school career for Jack Riley right there. Did appear in the Hull game back. He had 0 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists to fill in the stat sheet, but finds the bottom of the bucket for the first time in his, which should be, long career.
Stady had a grip on the rebound, but it was taken away by Connor Finn. He dishes down low on the high-low, and the bucket good for Oman. Nate Duggan, one of the 3 captains, along with Will LeBlanc and Connor Pease. Floating jumper doesn't go for Jack Riley. And Sandwich has the rebound. Oman up to Finn. Kicked out to the far side wing for Matt Murray. Sandwich has to regroup. Oman off the glass, doesn't go. McSherry the rebound. He is the tallest player currently on the floor, James.
And McSherry's big. I think they have, 2 very big guys down low. Connor Pease as the starting center, and McSherry coming off the bench. And McSherry, has had his presence felt in the first couple games. 12 points, 6 rebounds in their opener against Hull. And he had a solid game on the offensive glass and defensive glass against Martha's Vineyard. So McSherry's doing a great job in the first 2 games down low for the Green Wave.
Bounce pass to the corner for Kingston Maxwell. Back to Jack Riley. He sends it down low for Duggan, who gets blocked, and not a play off for Sandwich. Pease will come back in, and Coach Peter Serino will go with what we'll call the jumbo set here with McSherry and Pease. Corner 3, no good for Stady. Another rebound to Cole Rogers, and he is fouled. 35 seconds to go in the first quarter. 15-12. Sandwich on top of the Abington Green Wave. Oman gets it back. A nice give and go. Ball tipped out, and Kingston Maxwell comes up with it. He has it stolen away. Now Cole Rogers trying to escape Duggan. Runs into the double team. Has to pick up the dribble. Ball tipped, and Stady was involved with some contact. He'll be called for the reach. Rather, they'll call that on Sandwich. Finn called for the tie-up. 7 seconds for the Green Wave to shoot. Now 3 over the side for Stady. Corner 3 for Duggan. Halfway down, it comes out, James.
In the Green Wave, they open the quarter very good on the defensive end of the floor, but they really struggled at the end of the quarter on the defensive end, and Sandwich started to make shots. Connor Finn knocked down some threes at the midway point of the third quarter. They also had great ball movement, great spacing. And the Green Wave fortunate to only be down 3. I think the Green Wave is still in a good spot. Tyler Stady will knock down shots, as well as, Nate Duggan and the rest of this crew. So Green Wave not in a bad spot, down 3 at the end of the first.
It's been Connor Pease leading the way for the Abington Green Wave, doing the hard, gritty work down underneath the basket.
And that's what he always does. I mean, one of the biggest players, not only on the team, but in the league. And I think maybe the only player outside of, I think, the kids from Norwell who are pretty big, that might be bigger than him is Jake McSherry. So Green Wave fortunate to have 2 big bodies down low that they use properly and that play effectively. So both players having great starts of the season, and hopefully for Coach Serino and the Green Wave, they continue to have a great season. And like we said back on the scrimmage against St. Luke's, the Green Wave have a big prize on their mind, and they're starting it now. And the Green Wave, like I said, just need to improve their free throw shooting and their turnovers, and they'll be just all right.
It's been just a little bit since Abington had a true post player, James. Now they find themselves with 2 bona fide starting post guys in the starting lineup, or at least worthy of starting minutes.
Exactly, and going back to a few years ago, I think Cam Kearney back in 2019, the 2020 season, the year they went to the state final, but it was canceled due to the COVID-19 pandemic. So I think that's the last time they really had a true post player that will live down low, get the rebounds, make winning plays on the blocks. And now, like you said, they have two very strong ones that, the more post players you have, the better. You can never have too many good big men. So the Green Wave in a good spot with their roster.
The two of them, Pease and McSherry, involved in that tie-up, and it is out of bounds off of Sandwich. Nate Duggan to trigger from the baseline. Sends it long to Stady, who's got some space. Corner three, Kingston Maxwell off the mark. Loose ball found in the arms of Cole Rogers. These two teams' last matchup, James, in the Carter tournament, if I remember correctly, was a very gritty 1 point difference.
Yes, and it was a tough game. The Green Wave didn't play particularly well in that game, but they did enough to win. Then the Green Wave obviously went in and played in the championship against Cape Cod Academy. But Sandwich always plays tough, regardless of the circumstance. Sandwich is always gritty. They always find a way to stay in it and compete. And that's why Coach Zimmerangis always has his team. They hover around the 500 mark regardless of who's on their team. And they're just a tough team to play, and it's not an easy out for any team.
Another Green Wave turnover. The ball again to Rogers. 6.5 to go. Toward the attacking zone, and the foul. Kingston Maxwell called for the hit. That'll send LeBlanc back in. Murray's first free throw attempt does not go. Second foul on Kingston Maxwell, James.
Yeah, and that's not a good thing for the Green Wave. I mean, Kingston Maxwell, he's done it all, both games this season, and has been able to fill the stat sheet in what seemed to be every facet of the game. And the Green Wave, they want to have success. They need Maxwell on the floor. So 2 quick fouls. Might not see him for the rest of the second quarter. Maybe around the 1 minute mark they bring him in, maybe get a couple points late and stay out of foul trouble. But if I'm Coach Serino, maybe you don't even think about playing him until the second half.
McSherry, a nice hesitation underneath. He's got his first bucket of the game. Deficit for Abington at 5. A 3 for Finn is good. Make it back to 8.
And Connor Finn, he's still lighting it up from 3. His 4th three-pointer of the game, and he's pretty much the main reason the Green Wave are down 8 here halfway through the second quarter. Finn, maybe having a little bit of revenge from when the Green Wave beat them in football back in October. He's taken it to the basketball team now, and he's had himself a pretty nice first half.
Stady on the drive doesn't go. McSherry couldn't corral the rebound. It's Finn now over to Cole Rogers. His triple, high, arcing, no good. Duggan took contact midair. Duggan's brother Sean, I believe?
No relation.
No relation.
Yep.
No relation. Sean Duggan of the Abington Green Wave hockey team.
He does have many brothers, but Sean, no relation to Sean. And I can see why that would be a common, misconception, if you will.
Nate Duggan on the floater.
The nephew of assistant Coach Smith. Coach Smith not new with the Green Wave, but his second tenure with them. He obviously was the head coach back at Sacred Heart down in Kingston a few years back.
High arcing 3 off the window for Dan Oman, and now it's a 9-point lead for Sandwich.
In some of these, if you're the Green Wave, you can't really do much about it. The Sandwich just not really missing from 3. Connor Finn, now Oman. And if shots like that are falling off the glass from 25 feet, you're the Green Wave, all you can do is really pray that they stop going in, because regardless of how good your defense is, there's no real way to guard deep threes going in off the glass.
Duggan 3, it was a line drive, but it found the bottom of the well. 25-19, Abington down 6. About halfway through the second quarter now. Kicked out to Rogers. Now it's Oman. Matt Murray drives, gets held up, and Pease will get called for that contact. Murray at the line for 2. Doesn't hit his second. The rebound loose. LeBlanc fighting for it, and it is tipped out of bounds off of Finn. Duggan inside for Pease, out for LeBlanc, back to Duggan on the giant triangle. Duggan looking for a lane. Stady now. Stady launches off the iron. Finn the rebound. Nice dish down low. The bucket good for Omen.
And Sandwich was really clicking on all cylinders, scoring in transition. They've knocked down some threes, some tough threes. Like we said, Oman back on the other end off the glass. And Sandwich is really seems to be finding very easy on the offensive floor. And if Connor Finn hit that one, you might need to check what he ate for breakfast this morning. But Connor Finn lighting it up from 3 as well. And Sandwich out to an early 9-point lead.
Jack Riley will re-enter, replacing McSherry. And a timeout called by the Green Wave. They're down 9, 28-19. The Sandwich Blue Knights coming out hot to start this one, James.
And the Green Wave using their second timeout of the ball game, rather their first timeout of the ball game. But like we said, Sandwich really is just hitting the shots. They're forcing turnovers. They're even on the defensive end of the floor. They're making sure the Green Wave don't get any quality looks. And that's the reason the Green Wave have fallen down 9-point lead. Sandwich trying to get right back on track. They lost their opener against Norwell and trying to get their first South Shore League basketball win as a member of the South Shore League.
Green Wave started off hot. They had an 8-point lead at one point in the first quarter. They have since cooled off. What is Coach Peter Serino telling the team?
He's just trying to see him to stay resilient. The shots will fall. Tyler Sadie will begin to knock down shots. So will Kingston Maxwell. But maybe just play a tougher defense. And like I said earlier, there are certain situations where you can't do much on the defensive end of the floor. And like the shot Omen hit, there isn't a real easy way to guard that 25, 26 feet away from the basket. Throws it off the glass and in. So it's just kind of been one of those nights for Sandwich. And the Green Wave just, are going to hope maybe Tyler Sadie knocks down some shots. They're going to need Kingston Maxwell back soon because he's in foul trouble, and just find a way to get back in it. Try and maybe cut the lead down to 4 by the end of the half.
Jack Riley, Tyler Stady, Connor Pease, Will LeBlanc, and Nate Duggan on the floor for the Green Wave, and Jack Riley has his first high school triple.
And Jack Riley gave them good minutes in the first quarter, back in second quarter action for him. And if that's any indication of how his next shift will be, more of the same. So Jack Riley, like you said, just a freshman, but giving the Green Wave some quality minutes.
Spinning floater good for Rogers. Lead at 6. Hard off glass, rebound to Matt Murray. Nice slipping fadeaway for Sullivan Gaffney, the last senior that we have yet to mention for Sandwich. Pease gets fouled down low by Cole Rogers. He'll be at the line. Sandwich out to a 10-point lead now, 32-22. He's good on his first attempt. And he'll go 2 for 2. 3 of 4 overall at the line now for Connor Pease. Old man over to Murray. Murray stops and pops for three off the window. No good. Offensive board. But then the turnover from Oman. Dumped back to Duggan. A nice hesitation. Loose ball on the floor. A scrum and a travel is going to be called, of all things, on Dan Oman. Catch and shoot three from the corner for Stady. Doesn't go. Offensive board for Duggan. He gets closed on by a triple team of Blue Knights, and now in alone is Oman. He misses the easy meatball and out of play off of Jack Riley.
And Oman did the hard part there. He got around the defender with a real crafty Euro step and then missed the, what you would say is the easy part, the layup, and the Green Wave catching a much needed break. A good look for Oman.
Matt Murray hits the jumper. Lead back to 10 for Sandwich. He's out to Stady. And Tyler Stady fouled. Cole Rogers called for the contact. 1 minute even to go in the first half. One for two. Lead still 10 for the Blue Knights. Dan Ullman works the crossover. Dumps out to Murray, and he's called for travel. Duggan the overhanded pass to Stady, and now Pease fouled by Rogers, who currently has 2 fouls.
And yeah, Sandwich is now, the Green Wave now in the bonus. Like we talked about, I believe in the St. Luke scrimmage, the new foul rule, the Green are now in bonus after 5 team fouls, and they reset after every quarter. And there's no single bonus, just straight double bonus, straight 2 shots. So I feel like they're changing rules every year, really for no reason. And I don't think the single bonus and double bonus rule really is a bad rule, because at the collegiate level they're still doing it and still having success with the rule, but a new rule, so something to get used to here as you watch basketball coming forward this season.
That plus the 35-second shot clock.
Year 2 of Mad Dog Matt Nelson's favorite new rule, the 35-second shot clock.
It's doing wonders for slowing the pace of play down.
I will say we're fortunate enough with the Green Wave, they don't really ever take the shot clock down all the way. They're kind of notorious in the league for trying to push the tempo and play with high speed, but I think there are definitely a lot of teams out there that will use all 35 seconds, but like I said, fortunate enough that the Green Wave like to try and get a good look in the first 7-8 seconds of a shot clock.
Green Wave will have the last shot here, 20 seconds to go. Riley thought about the long 3. Instead kicked out to Duggan. Stady takes it. Halfway down and out again, James.
And that's just how the Green Wave's half's gone. Tyler Stady, has gotten some good looks. Shots haven't really fallen, and Sandwich, those types of shots are falling. Sandwich is, finding success, finding the bottom of the basket, and Green Wave aren't. So that's the reason Sandwich takes a 10-point lead into the half.
All right. Are you surprised?
I am very surprised. I think the Green Wave, they didn't play particularly poor. I think the Sandwich is just knocking down shots at a really high rate. And like I said, the Green Wave are going to need to start making shots and start getting better stops on the defensive end of the floor.
What is Coach Simarangas saying to his team in the locker room?
Stay resilient, stay the course. Don't get ahead of yourself because you're up 10 on a good team. But, keep taking good shots and keep hopefully knocking down good shots and keep forcing turnovers. The Green Wave did a better job in the second quarter at limiting their turnovers, but I think that Sandwich has done a good job on the defensive end of the floor as well as making shots. And like we said, Connor Finn has been, the leader of that.
Coach Peter Serino finds his team down 10. What adjustments is he going to make?
I think the Green Wave have really been fine on the offensive end of the floor when it comes to looks. I think that the Green Wave just need to, keep taking shots. Kingston Maxwell got into some early foul trouble, so he'll be back in the second half. I think Tyler Stady just needs to keep shooting open looks. We saw, one of his shots go halfway down and out, and that's just kind of how the night's gone for the Green Wave. I would like to see them use, Connor Pease and Jake McSherry more down low because they have the significant size advantage. But I think if they're the Green Wave, keep doing what you're doing. Maybe, I think they could defend a little better. I think Sandwich has gotten some good looks. And if you take out Connor Finn out of the equation, I think the Green Wave have a very good shot of coming back into this one and getting the job done.
36-26 at the break. The Sandwich Blue Knights leading the Abington Green Wave. We're going to step aside, take a quick break, and bring you second half action right after this. Hello and welcome back into the gym here at Abington High School for second half action. It is the Sandwich Blue Knights and the Abington Green Wave. I'm Mad Dog Matt Nelson. He's the Dr. James Madden. Stady 3 is good. James, you can't ask for a better start to the half when you come out down 10 than a Stady triple.
Like I said before going into the break, the Green Wave just need to keep shooting shots. Tyler Stady's shots from beyond the arc will fall, and if that's any indication on how the second half will go, I think the Green Wave have a very good shot at getting back into it. And Connor Finn, like we said, they need to limit his three-point shots, and he knocks one down and answers right back to Stady.
5 total, I believe, for Finn to this point from beyond the arc.
And at a high percentage, too. Very efficient from beyond the arc for Connor Finn.
Stady, another corner 3. That one off the iron. Maxwell, the rebound. And acrobatically tossing it off of one of the Blue Knights as he was falling out of play.
And we said before the break as well, Kingston Maxwell, early foul trouble. The Green Wave are going to need him to stay out of foul trouble for the remainder of this one because they need Kingston Maxwell on the floor if they want to get back into this one and come back and win.
So right before the half, we said, James, what are you doing to cut the deficit in the second half? And you said, get the ball down low to Connor Pease, let the man do his work in the paint, the bucket, and the foul.
Yeah, and, when you use guys like Connor Pease in a game or Jake McSherry in games when they're significantly bigger than the opponents, you're going to get fouled. And worst case scenario, Connor Pease draws a foul and gets to the line for 2 shots. But that's, best case scenario. He knocks down the shot, gets an and one, and Chance, unfortunately, didn't complete the 3-point play. But the Green Wave has just got to keep using Tyler Stady. Keep using Connor Pease and McSherry as well as Tyler Stady just needs to start making shots, and the Green Wave will be all right.
What a nice steal from Michael Riley on the defensive end after it looked like Sandwich was going to break the full court press. Maxwell trying to force it to Stady, and the Blue Knights come up with a steal.
And that's another thing we talked about before the break is turnovers. The Green Wave have struggled with turnovers through the first 2 games of the season. They just forced one of their own, but Green Wave have knocked down free throws better than they had the first 2 games of the season, but still turning the ball over a little bit. So just need to cut down on the turnovers and start having shots fall. As they, like I said, they found quality looks, especially in the first half.
Michael Riley to the corner for Stady, in for Pease. Stady, another 3 attempts. That one off the back of the rim and out, tipped out off of Sandwich. Maxwell thought about the catch and shoot. Gives over to Michael Riley. Back to Maxwell. Floats it in for LeBlanc. And dish into traffic, and it's stolen away. Cole Rogers with it for Sandwich. 2 minutes into the third quarter, lead at 8 for the Blue Knights. Pease comes up with a block. Dual possession the called. It will remain with Sandwich. They'll have still 21 seconds to shoot.
Like we said, the shot clock's like an eternity, and 14 seconds come off the shot clock, but still have 21 to shoot. So, I guess any offensive basketball fans might not be huge fans of the 35-second shot clock, but year 2 under the new rules, so just got to get used to it.
Green Wave disrupting 2 inbound passes from Sandwich. They'll lay off in the Green Wave, force a turnover after not attempting to block the inbound pass.
And Green Wave, like I said, to open the second half, they've been very good on the defensive end of the floor. They gave up an early 3 to Connor Finn, but they forced a couple turnovers, and they've been able to get good looks in transition, like that shot from Tyler Sadie, but just unable to connect so far. Kind of similar to the first half.
Maxwell working the crossover. He's thought about it. Back to Maxwell. He'll take the floater, no good. Rebound to Rogers. Nice dish in the reverse layup by Luke Rogers. Riley gets it back from LeBlanc. In for Pease. Maxwell at the elbow. Out to Riley for the triple. It's good.
That's a much-needed three-pointer from the Green Wave. Michael Riley coming up big, knocks down the three, and the Green Wave, like I said, have been playing well in the defensive end of the floor to open the second half, and they're going to need more of that from Michael Riley, Tyler Sadie, and some of their guards to get back in this one. They only trail by 7.
Each of the Riley Bros now with a triple. Their fan section sitting immediately to our right. Now Michael Riley called for the block. Connor Finn working against Riley, takes the pull-up 3, doesn't go. Stady the rebound for the Green Wave. Down low to LeBlanc, loose ball on the deck, able to pick it up. Pease thought about the long jumper, didn't take it. Maxwell will reset with 10 to shoot. Stady in for Pease, Maxwell. Out to Stady. Down low for LeBlanc. And he puts it off the window and in.
And that's unlike the Green Wave. The Green Wave like to run the floor, get up and down quick, but that's a set offense.
They used 34 of the 35 seconds on the shot clock that time.
And they had some great ball movement, great spacing, and Tyler Stady with a great find finds Will LeBlanc on the block and cuts the lead down to 5.
Rogers, 3. No good. Maxwell goes way up to grab the rebound. Maxwell takes the long 3. That back irons out. LeBlanc, the offensive board, still fighting for space. And a timeout called by Abington. Lead at 5 for Sandwich, James.
And a much better start to the second half for the Green Wave, especially on the defensive end of the floor. I think they've played very well. I think that they've limited good looks, especially from Connor Finn. They forced turnovers, and like I said, it's going to start with the defense, and good defense turns into good offense. And the Green Wave have been running the floor, doing what they do. But I think what really was kind of eye-popping is that 34-second possession where Tyler Stady found Will LeBlanc on the block and cut the lead down to 5.
It is a long week of many Abington Cam live streams of Green Wave Sports. Of course, we're here for you tonight at the gym. We've got 2 hockey games on deck tomorrow. The girls varsity co-op is facing Whitman Hanson at the Rockland Ice Rink at 5:50. Then the boys ice hockey team will have the nightcap 7:50 against Blue Hills Regional. James, a doubleheader here on Friday night.
And that'll be a fun one. A lot of energy in the gym the Friday before the holidays. And, everyone will be out of school. It's the last day before winter break here at Abington High School. But a fun one. It's, a doubleheader. We'll have a doubleheader down in Carver in January. Boy-girl doubleheader once again. But that should be a fun one. Whenever there's a doubleheader, there's a lot of energy in the gym. And Carver's a team that plays the Green Wave tough every year. And, they always have, a tough athletic program. So it should be a fun Friday night matchup and just on tap for some good basketball here on Friday.
Maxwell called for steps. Green Wave defense switching to a full court zone here, James.
Yeah, and that's, a little different. They've been in really man-to-man. Sandwich in the first half had some success from the zone, forced the Green Wave to shoot the outside shot, and the Green Wave were struggling to knock down the outside shot. Maybe the Green Wave looking for a little bit of similar fortunes, but a pretty easy look for Sandwich after a defensive lapse down low.
Pease a nice move to get to the rack, but his shot didn't go. The rebound to Matt Murray. Omen works his way towards the three-point line. Now gives off to Finn, who's drilled 5 triples. Finn, corner 3. That one's good, too. He's got 6 from beyond the arc.
And really his bread and butter is the catch and shoot. He's scored a little bit off the dribble, but mostly the catch and shoot, a little bit of screen action up top, coming off the screen in the corner. He found an open look. If you're going to, beat the zone, the best way to do it is shoot from beyond the arc, and Connor Finn has shown that he can do that tonight, and he's the reason Sandwich leads by 10.
Riley to the corner for Stady's catch and shoot 3, and that's nothing but net. Another look at the full court zone. Sandwich breaks it easily. Loose ball, tipped, still tipping, and LeBlanc fighting for it. Up from Mike Riley. His long lob in for Maxwell, who is fouled after 2 tries at the rim.
Kingston Maxwell, like we said, is really, hasn't been able to get into it yet because he had the foul trouble in the first half. He's had a couple good looks, just hasn't been able to knock them down, but Maxwell at the line after a tough, contest at the rim. But Maxwell's going to need to get, going here for the Green Wave if they really want to get back into this one. And he, like I said, averaging 16 points per game, first 2 games of the season. So he's had a great start to the year, and the Green Wave are going to need him to heat up and to get back into this one.
Good on his first attempt to make it a 2-possession game. It's 46-41. Sandwich on top by 5. Kingston Maxwell is going to get called for the hit here on Dan Omen. He's got 3 fouls and will find his way to the bench in favor of Jack Riley. I believe first time we have seen both of the Rileys on the floor at the same time tonight. Travel called on Omen. Michael Pease, now Jack. Jack takes the floater. Doesn't go. Rebound to Finn. Omen with the nice windmill layup. And it's good. Lead at 7. We've seen the strategies kind of take polar opposite effects as this game has gone on. Sandwich has been running the floor and not really using much of the shot clock, whereas Abington now has already burned 15 seconds off before they even attempted a shot.
Yeah, the Green Wave really just haven't been able to get, force those turnovers, to get out in transition and run like they like to. And Sandwich has been able to force turnovers and find outlet men off a Green Wave miss, and has really been able to run the floor. And when you run the floor, it also opens up the 3-point lanes, and that's why guys like Connor Finn and Omen have been able to knock down threes. Omen, who just had an acrobatic finish at the rim. So Sandwich kind of giving the Green Wave a taste of their own medicine, and that's the reason they lead by 7.
Omen the line drive off the back iron. Jack Riley fouled on the rebound attempt. 3rd foul called against Sandwich. The 2nd called against Sullivan Gaffney. Jack Riley over to Duggan. Pease trying to force it out to Stady, and the buzzer sounds on the 3rd quarter. The lead for Sandwich is at 7, James, 48-41.
And the Green Wave, they opened up the quarter pretty well. They cut into the deficit. They were down 10 at the half, but Sandwich responded at the end of the quarter, kind of like what they did at the end of the first quarter. That's really when they jumped out to that lead. They knocked down shots. Connor Finn, we saw Omen down low with an acrobatic finish. And Sandwich has had some high quality shot making. They've made some tough looks. They've knocked down threes. Connor Finn, when he gets open, knocks it down. And like I said, it's kind of tough to defend. You know, you're not going to have great defensive possessions every time, and Sandwich is making the most of every offensive possession, especially the quality looks, and they're making their shots, and that's the reason they lead by 7.
We've seen various lineups on the floor for Coach Peter Serino. What do you go with to start the fourth to cut further into this deficit?
I think, you know, the Green Wave, it's important to, you know, find their identity. Their identity is running the floor and using their big men. I'd like to see Connor Pease, like to see Jake McSherry find more action, but, you know, in a game you trail by 7, I think the Green Wave can get back into it pretty quickly. The Green Wave are able to shoot the ball well. Tyler Stady, Nate Duggan, Kingston Maxwell when he needs to. So I'd like to go, you know, a 3-guard set. Maybe use Connor Pease, Jake McSherry, Will LeBlanc maybe on the defensive glass on the defensive side of the floor. So looks like they will go with the 2-big lineup, which is what I would have done, go the 3 guards, 2 bigs, and try and get back into this one using their 2 big men down low.
The 3 guards will be Stady, Jack Riley, and Nate Duggan, along with Pease and McSherry, the big men. Dan Ullman, Matt Murray, Cole Rogers, Sullivan Gaffney, and Connor Finn for the Sandwich Blue Knights. Stady to Duggan, now Jack Riley. And Pease put a little bit too much mustard on it. Was either going to be a backcourt violation or out of play. It is out of play on the baseline for Sandwich. Murray hard in for Gaffney, and that is tipped loose. Duggan 3, back iron, following his shot, and gets called for the foul. Kingston Maxwell comes back in, replacing Jack Riley, so a very short leash on that lineup to start the third, but we remain with 3 guards, 2 bigs. Finn, another triple. That one irons out. Maxwell the rebound. He's got 3 fouls, James, and has to play a little bit conservatively.
Yeah, and like I said, Kingston Maxwell was kind of a non-factor in the first half for this foul trouble, and you know, he picked up his 3rd foul early on in the 3rd quarter, but he did a very good job staying out of foul trouble, not getting that 4th foul. And if you're the Green Wave, you kind of pray that he doesn't get that 4th foul because they need him on the floor, they need him to heat up, and they're going to need him in any comeback effort.
Pease goes up to grab the rebound on Rogers' shot. Stady floats it in for McSherry. Big man goes to the post and gets fouled. That will be foul number 5. Or foul number 1. I forgot it resets every quarter, not the half. First foul committed by Sandwich here in the 4th. NFHS adopting the NCAA women's rules as far as fouls go in quarters. McSherry goes 1 for 2, the lead at 6. Sandwich able to break the press. Murray's shot doesn't go. Another rebound for Pease. Duggan drives in, floats it, no good. Rebound to Sullivan Gaffney. He's able to force it to Finn before taking the contact. Murray in for Oman, and a foul down low. McSherry called for the hit. That will send Michael Riley back in. He replaces Nate Duggan. A high rate of substitutions here in the 4th, James.
Yeah, Green Wave playing some checkers, or chess, if you will. But, you know, going not with their entire starting lineup. Jake McSherry not a member of the starting lineup. But I like this lineup for the Green Wave. It provides a lot of scoring in the front court and scoring in the back court, doing still the 3-guard, 2-big man set. And the Green Wave going to try and use their big men. I think that Sandwich has played well down low. And like I said at the beginning of the game, a significant size advantage for the Green Wave, but Sandwich has battled down low, and they've been able to kind of limit the production from the Green Wave big men. And like I said, defensive end of the floor, Sandwich has played very well.
4 straight defensive rebounds for Connor Pease, giving the Green Wave a good chance to get back into it. And Finn hits another 3. Immediate timeout called by Coach Cimarangis. 51-42, just like that. The lead back to 9.
With a 7th triple of the ball game for Finn. Connor Finn, like we talked about, put together a very good first half and picking up right where he left off in the second half. And Connor Finn lighting up from beyond the arc. Seven 3-pointers from deep, and Sandwich out to a 9-point lead and 5.5 to play. So Sandwich in a very good position of trying to get their first league win and move to 1-1 on the young season.
Thank you for tuning into this stream and every stream here on the networks of Abington Community Access and Media, youtube.com/AbingtonCamo2351/live. We'll be there a lot this week, James. 2 hockey games tomorrow, 2 basketball games on Friday. Then we got the Christmas break. Right back in action during the high school winter break next week.
A lot of action at Abington High School. Boys, girls basketball, the hockey team. Both boys and girls hockey teams next week.
5:33 to go, fourth quarter. 51-42 the score. The Green Wave will have the ball following Connor Finn's 7th 3 of the game. I believe 23 total for Finn. Riley bounces in for McSherry, and the high-low works that time, James.
And the Green Wave are going to keep looking for that. They like the high-low, especially in a game like this where they have a significant advantage. And Michael Riley doing the right thing, the simple play, but the right one. Knocking it down low to Jake McSherry. McSherry finishes at the rim, and the Green Wave cut into the deficit.
Murray stops and pops off the glass, no good. Rebound tipped out off of McSherry, says the referee. Connor Finn, who has played all of this game. Michael Riley stole the pass intended for Finn away, and then he is fouled by Matt Murray. Second foul committed by the Blue Knights. The third committed by Murray. Stady was looking for the catch and shoot. Quickly ran out of space, and then a foul. This time on Dan Oman.
And this is the stage of the game where the Green Wave really need to knock down their free throws. It's one of the reasons they lost against Martha's Vineyard. They struggled with shot making down the stretch as well as free throw shooting. But Tyler Stady, their best free throw shooter at the line, chance to cut into the lead and cut into the deficit and make it a 5-point game.
Stady drills his first. Will LeBlanc in for McSherry. Stady goes a very important 2 for 2.
Yeah, and so like I said, the Green Wave, they need to improve their free throw shooting, and they've done a much better job.
Stady comes up with a steal off the inbound pass and puts it off the window and in. Full court press on for the Green Wave.
And I'm surprised the Green Wave haven't jumped into this earlier. I mean, they haven't really put a ton of pressure on ball handlers, and the first time they really did, Stady came up with a big steal and was able to make it a one-possession game and cut the lead down to 3.
51-48, 4:20 remains in the fourth quarter. Dan Oman working against Pease. Pease called for the foul. Oman will be at the line for 2. Oman missing his first attempt. Little help from the Green Wave student section.
Their first activity, if you will, of the ball game. It's been a quiet game. Green Wave really haven't led since the midway mark of the first quarter, so the students actually trying to get their Green Wave back in the game.
How's that for home court advantage? 0 for 2 goes Oman. The rebound to Connor Pease. Pease running into trouble. Now Stady takes the step back 3 and drills it. It's tied 51-51.
And we talked about it at halftime. The Green Wave needed Tyler Stady to come up big. Sandwich may have gotten away with a travel there, but Tyler Stady knocking down a big-time three, ties the ball game up, and we have a brand-new ball game just under 4 to play.
Another Pease rebound. He's quickly working his way to a double-double. If not already, Matt Murray takes a spinning jumper. That doesn't go. LeBlanc comes away with the loose ball that time. And Shields to knock away any of the Blue Knights. Maxwell slowing things up. 23 to shoot for the Green Wave. 3:18 to go. A chance to take the lead. Maxwell takes the triple. Off the mark, but an offensive board for LeBlanc. Michael Riley thought about it. Now Stady takes it from the corner. Halfway down, and not the third time, James, that it has gone below halfway down before rattling out. And that'll be a Green Wave ball. The student section and the bench all on their feet, James.
And that's been, kind of how the game's gone for the Green Wave. They just haven't really gotten any breaks. Tyler Stady halfway down and out, but there's not really much you can do about Tyler Stady. Good look, did everything right, but like we said, knocked down a big three earlier, and they're going to keep looking for Tyler Stady, keep trying to have him knock down the big shot, and the Green Wave have tied the ball game up as they have trailed for the majority of this one.
Down low for LeBlanc, loose on the deck. LeBlanc fighting for it, and he's going to get called for the travel after he was forced to take a little bunny hop.
And LeBlanc trying to find Stady in the corner, but lost the handle, got it back, but shuffled his feet. And the Green Wave still, trying to shoot out of the zone, and Tyler Stady is, going to be the leader of that. So they're going to keep looking for Stady on the offensive end of the floor, and hopefully for the Green Wave, keep finding stops on the defensive end.
Oman runs the floor to break the press. 2.5 to go. Still knotted, 51-51. The possession arrow favors the Sandwich Blue Knights. Corner three for Finn. It's good. He's got 8 from beyond the arc tonight, James.
And every time the Green Wave have answered back, felt like they're back in it, Connor Finn has answered right back as well. Finn, 8 3-pointers. He had a very good first half, 5 in the first half. Slow start to the second half, but Finn, gives the Sandwich Blue Knights back their lead. They lead by 3.
Riley on the wing. Stady now in the corner. Maxwell. The zone defense for the Knights holding true so far in this possession. 8 to shoot for the Green Wave. LeBlanc, nice dish inside for Pease, and he tried to force it, and he gets called for the travel.
Might only be December, but you can feel the energy in the gym down the stretch. 3-point game, 1.5 to play.
Rogers all the way, floats it off the window and in. And that puts the Sandwich lead back to 5. Maxwell working at the top of the key, has it tipped out, and then commits the reach. Could be a clear path.
Yeah, Coach Zimmerang is asking for the intentional foul, which would send Sandwich to the line, but I believe just a common foul on the floor.
Maxwell's 4th personal, James.
Yeah, and I think that was a much-needed foul. Keeps the sandwich out of a fast break, and hopefully for the Green Wave, will keep points off the board. So Green Wave in a deficit down 5. You don't want Sandwich had an easy layup opportunity to add to that and make it a 7-point game. So Maxwell making the right and unselfish play.
Finn closed on by Riley. And then it's LeBlanc coming up with the steal. He's in alone, fouled from behind. And he'll be at the line for 2.
Big-time 3-pointers from the senior Will LeBlanc. Big-time free throws coming up here for the senior Will LeBlanc. Chance to cut the Sandwich lead to a 1-possession game, cut it down to 3.
The entertainment factor tonight, James, is off the roof. Ann Riley is on the edge of her seat in anticipation of the finish of this one. 1 minute to go.
In the Green Wave, they've been resilient. They've battled back into it. They were down 10 at the half. They'll cut it down to 7 at the end of the third, and Will LeBlanc with 2 big-time free throws to cut the Sandwich lead, making a 1-possession game.
56-53, 60 seconds remain. Rogers able to break the press, gives back to Dan Oman. He's closed on by LeBlanc. Oman drives, kicks out. Murray will reset. Now a clock game for Sandwich. They can bleed it down to about give or take 20 seconds, and they'll hit a 2 with Omen, 38 to go. Maxwell. Riley, the long 3, irons out LeBlanc, the offensive board. Riley will try it again from this side. That one rims out. Another offensive board, this time for Stady. And a timeout called by the Green Wave. 18 seconds to go. A 2-possession game, James. What is Coach Peter Serino telling his squad?
I think at this stage of the game, you need a 3. 5-point game, you knock it down at 3, make it a 2-point game, and then just hope Sandwich goes 1 for 2 from the line. Sandwich will be in the bonus after the next Green Wave foul, so not in the bonus yet. So the Green Wave will need to foul twice if they do knock down a 3. And I think Coach Serino's drawn up a play for his best 3-point shooter, which is Tyler Stady. And, Tyler Stady, he's done everything right on a lot of his threes, had a couple of them halfway down. But it's just been one of those nights for the Green Wave, struggling to make shots, haven't really caught any breaks, and that's the reason Sandwich, Sandwich, like we talked about, Connor Finn, 8 3-pointers, Omen providing some, insurance down low. So those two are the reasons Sandwich has jumped up to a 5-point lead and a chance to give themselves their first South Shore League win as a basketball team.
If the Green Wave are successful on the upcoming 3-point attempt, do you call a timeout and put Jake McSherry in for the rebound?
I think you do. You still have 2 timeouts left. You get him in and try and put him in for some rebound. Put him in for the rebound on the free throw attempts, and obviously you foul right away. Give yourself more time, 18 seconds, shot clock turned off, and Sandwich, like I said, I think the Green Wave will need to foul twice. Sandwich will be in the bonus after the first foul, but still a lot of time for the Green Wave to get back into this, get back into it, because as we know, 18 seconds, a lot of time in the basketball world.
Stady triggers from in front of Coach Bud Madden, and it is a steal for Dan Omen and the clear path bucket. Now Stady launches, and Sandwich can dribble it out. Sandwich comes into Green Wave Nation and upsets Abington 60-53, James. Other than Connor Finn, absolutely electric from beyond the arc with 8 3-pointers and 26 points total. What did Sandwich do right to come in here and knock off the Green Wave?
I think Sandwich, they played very well, especially on the offensive end of the floor. And they were able to knock down shots at a consistent and high rate. And were able to, like I said, Connor Finn, big-time performance from 3. Omen down low. Sandwich, they played very good defense, especially in the first half. The Green Wave struggled to make shots down the stretch as well as early on. The Green Wave, they battled back into it, but were just unable to, get over the hump. And that's the reason Sandwich got their first win of the season here at Abington High. And the Green Wave, reflect on it, but not much you can do after the fact. So get ready to play Friday night and get ready for the boy-girl doubleheader Friday night against Carver.
All that being said, it was a very, very impressive comeback attempt for the Green Wave, down 10 at the break. What did they do right? What was encouraging from that comeback attempt that fell just short tonight?
I thought in the third quarter and the beginning of the fourth quarter they used their bigs well, but then they kind of, steered away from the big men use, kind of resorted back out to the 3-point ball, which wasn't really falling for the Green Wave all night long. Tyler Stady, didn't really connect. Kingston Maxwell battled foul trouble all night long. And at the end of the day, the Green Wave, weren't able to knock down enough shots. I thought they played a lot better in the second half when it came to turnovers. They didn't turn over the ball as much. Like we talked about before the game, the Green Wave needed to limit their turnovers and shoot better from the free throw line, both, which I think they did better. But at the end of the day, Sandwich just made too many shots, and at some points it was unguardable shots. We saw Omen 30 feet from the basket, throw one off the glass and in. It was just one of those nights for Sandwich and one of those nights for the Green Wave, and just high-quality shot making from the Blue Knights.
60-53, the final from Abington High School tonight. The Sandwich Blue Knights knocking off the Abington Green Wave here in boys varsity basketball action. I want to thank you for watching this game and every game here on Abington Community Access and Media. On behalf of everyone here at ACAM, our executive producer, Kevin Tacci, our cameraman, the one and only Michael O'Leary, my broadcast partner, Dr. James Madden. I'm Mad Dog Matt Nelson. We will see you next game.